Information and Communication Technology presents Educational Satellite Television Programs.
Hello, teacher. Hello, students. Welcome to today's lesson on plasmolysis and turgor pressure. In our last lesson, we learned about isotonic, hypotonic, and hypertonic solutions. We described each solution and its characteristics. We learned how the cell is affected by each concentration, and we labeled drawings to demonstrate our knowledge of the solutions. Today, we will be studying plasmolysis and turgor pressure. We will discuss both conditions in plant cells and discuss how they are related to isotonic, hypotonic, and hypertonic solutions. Students, let us begin the lesson with a review activity. Please define the three types of solutions: isotonic, hypotonic, and hypertonic.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up! Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. I am sure this was a simple review activity for you. If the concentration of the solutions on both sides of a cell membrane is the same, they are isotonic. If the concentration of the solution on the outside of the cell membrane is higher than the concentration of the solution inside the cell, it is hypertonic. If the concentration of the solution on the outside of the cell membrane is lower than the concentration of the solution inside the cell, it is hypotonic. The cells of all living organisms rely on osmosis to move water particles in and out of the cell. Water in plant cells supports the stem and leaves. Plant cells have a cell wall that allows all materials to enter. The cells have a semi-permeable membrane surrounding the cytoplasm. The cells are able to take in water and swell because the cell wall is strong enough to withstand the pressure within. Water that moves into plant cells causes the cytoplasm to swell and press against the cell walls. The pressure builds until the cell is hard and rigid. This swollen state is called turgor. Turgor maintains the firmness of the plant's leaves and stems. It is important for plants to have less concentrated fluid surrounding the cells as opposed to the cytoplasm of the cells. If the fluid that surrounds the cell becomes a hypertonic solution, meaning the solution will be more concentrated than the contents of the plant cell, water will leave the cell by osmosis. The cell becomes flaccid, meaning limp and less rigid. If water continues to leave the cell, the vacuole shrinks and eventually cytoplasm will pull away from the cell walls. This causes the cell to reform into a state called plasmolysis. The best example of a turgid plant and a flaccid plant is comparing a plant that is watered regularly to a plant that is not watered. The plant that is not watered will shrivel because it has lost its turgor pressure. To make sure that we understand what we have just learned, please explain how plasmolysis is related to turgor pressure in plant cells in complete sentences.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Hello again, everyone. How did you do? As we have learned, plasmolysis is the shrinking of cytoplasm. This results in the cytoplasm pulling away from the cell wall of a plant cell due to water loss through osmosis, thereby leaving gaps between the cell wall and cell membrane. When a plant cell is placed in a highly concentrated solution, water diffuses from the cell and turgor pressure is lost, causing the cell to become flaccid. Did you write down a similar answer? If so, well done. In normal conditions, osmosis moves water into the plant cells and keeps them rigid and the plant upright. If conditions are dry, the plant will not be able to take up enough water through the roots from the soil. The cells will not be turgid, and the plant will begin to wilt. Plants are able to slow down their chemical processes during plasmolysis. By doing so, the plant is able to survive until water is available. However, this only works for a short time. If osmosis does not occur quickly, the plant will inevitably die. We have time for one last activity, students. Complete the following sentences by filling in the blanks with the correct term.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Hello, students. I hope you were able to correctly fill in all the blanks. Let us go through the answers together. Turgor maintains the firmness of the plant's leaves and stems. Plants need to have less concentrated fluid surrounding the cells. If the fluid that surrounds the cell becomes a hypertonic solution, water will leave the cell by osmosis. When a cell is flaccid, it is limp and less rigid. Plasmolysis happens when the cytoplasm pulls away from the cell walls. How did you do? If you were able to answer every one correctly, great work. We have reached the end of our lesson. Today, we learned about plasmolysis and turgor pressure. We explained these conditions in plant cells and discussed how they are related to osmosis. Until next time, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.